Hello friends, welcome to Best Tutor. This is Rama Vishwanathan. In today's video we are going to learn about proportions. What are proportions? Equality of two ratios is proportions. First of all, let us understand what is a ratio. Ratio is nothing but comparison of two quantities of same kind and same units also. For example, A has got 5 marks and B has got 8 marks in a test. Then how do I find the ratio of their marks? I write it as 5:8. Okay, or if at all A has got 10 marks and B has got 20 marks, I write the ratio as 10:20, and if we simplify it is going to be 1:2. Ratio should always be in simplest form, and there are some properties of ratio. Ratio doesn't carry any units because it is a fraction. Okay, now coming to proportions, with this basic previous knowledge we will move on to proportions. A proportion is nothing but equality of two ratios. Okay. Equality of two ratios. A is to B is one ratio. This is a symbol for ratio. E is to. A is to B is one ratio. C is to D is the other ratio. If at all they are equal, then I say that the four numbers A, B, C and D are in proportion. This is a basic definition of proportion. I quickly repeat. Equality of two ratios is called as proportion. If at all A is to B is equal to C is to D, then the two quantities or terms A, B, C and D are said to be in proportion. A is called as the first proportional, B is called as the second proportional, this is called as the first proportional, similarly second, third and fourth. Okay, are there any more terms? Yes, there are. A, B, C and D are in proportion. Then A and D are called as extremes. B and C are called as means. Ending terms are called as extremes. Middle terms are called as means. Middle terms are called as means. Ending terms E are called as extremes. Right. If A is to B is equal to C is to D, then what is the consequence? What is the result of it? Or when can you say that they are equal? There should be some test, isn't it? What is the test here? A into D is equal to B into C. If this is true, then this is going to be true, right? That means product of means or extremes is equal to product extremes. This rule is called as cross product rule. Never try to by heart the formulae. You please understand the concept. The procedure becomes very simple. How did I get this? A is to B is equal to C is to D. It's very simple concept here. A by B is equal to C by D. Then if I cross multiply, A into D is equal to B into C. That is nothing but cross product rule. So product of means is equal to, these two are means and these two are extremes. So product of means is equal to product of extremes, right? So we have learned the basic definition of proportion. We have learned what are the terms called as and what are the means and extremes, and we have also learned about cross product rule. Okay. If at all we have 3:4 is equal to 24:x. This is given to be in proportion. That means 3, 4, 24, x and x are in proportion. Find the value of x. This is a very basic question. Before we get into the details of the other concept, let us deal with this basic question. As I have already explained, cross product rule. Product of means is equal to product of extremes. This is a cross product rule, right? So if we apply this cross product rule, product of means is 4 into 24. Product of extremes is 3 into x. So this has become a simple linear equation. All the terms or all the branches of mathematics are interlinked. This entire concept is interlinked with algebraic concepts. This is going to be a simple linear equation. So x becomes 4 into 24 by 3. 3 ones are 3 8s are, so 4 8s are 32. So this fourth proportional is going to be 32. Right. So we have learned how to find out fourth proportional. In the same way we can find out the first proportional, second, third, fourth. If at all I have to find one proportion and the remaining 3 quantities have to be given, okay, or else some relation has to be given. So 4 terms A, B, C and D are in proportion if A is to B is equal to C is to D, right? But if at all I have only 3 terms A, B, C are in continuous proportion, what does it mean? For 4 terms are in proportion, this is clear, but I have given 3 terms and I have said they are in continuous proportion. What does it mean? A, B, C are in continuous proportion or continued proportion if A is to B is equal to B is to C. If we observe, the middle term is being shared with A as well as C. So it becomes this is the antecedent and consequent of a ratio. I hope you are thorough with the basics of ratio. A is the first term of the ratio, B is the second term of the ratio if A is to B is the given ratio. A is called as the antecedent, B is called as the consequent. So B becomes the consequent of the first ratio and antecedent of the second ratio. Such a case, they are said to be in continued proportion. A by B is equal to B by C. A and C are going to be the extremes. B is going to be the mean proportional. I call A as the first proportional, B as the mean proportional, C as the third proportional. In this case, we don't have any fourth proportional, isn't it? Here, first, second, third and fourth proportional. First, mean and third proportional, right? Okay. If at all, we have 2x and 8 are in proportion, continuous proportion. Find the value of x. How are we going to do it? 2, x and 8 are in continuous proportion. Find the value of x. That means we are going to find the mean proportional, or I can say that x is the mean proportional of 2 and 8. What is the procedure? 2 is to x is equal to x is to 8. I am giving you a simple example so that the concept becomes very, very simple. Once the concept is thorough, you can deal with the complicated examples also. X into x is equal to 2 into 8. X square is equal to 16. X is equal to root of 16. X is equal to 4. So 2 is to x, 2, x, 8 are in continuous proportion. So mean proportional value is 4 here. So this is a procedure to find out the mean proportional. 2 and 8 are the first proportional and third proportional. A, B, C, D are in proportion. A, B, C are in continued proportion. If at all we have A, B, C and D are in continued proportion, what does it mean? If they are in proportion, we understand A is to B is equal to C is to D. If only 3 terms are given and continued proportion is given, we understand A is to B is equal to B is to C. But here I have given A, B, C and D are in continued proportion. It means that A is to B is equal to B is to C is equal to C is to D. Or we can also write A by B is equal to B by C is equal to C by D. There is a continuity. These two are equal, these two are equal, right? This is nothing but A, B, C and D are in continued proportion. Can we have many more terms which are in continued proportion like A, B, C, D, E, F are in continued proportion? Doesn't matter, the same procedure will be followed. Every term will be repeated once as the consequent of the previous term and antecedent of the second ratio, right? This is a procedure. Now I will give you a simple example. We know very well how to check whether the given 4 quantities are in proportion or not. If at all I say check if 5, 11, 19 and 37 are in proportion or not. When will they be in proportion? When 5 is to 11 is equal to 19 is to 37, right? So if at all they are in proportion, then 5 is to 11 should be equal to 19 is to 37. But is it true? Is 5 is to 11 equal to 19 is to 37? How do we decide? If at all the product of means is equal to product of extremes, then they will be equal. What will be the product of means here? Product of means is 11 into 19. How do I multiply 11 into 19? Here I would like to add one point. Multiplication of any number of digits, in the sense any number with how many ever digits we have, multiplication with 11 is going to be very simple if we follow one simple rule here. 11 into 12. For example, let me quickly give you this procedure so that multiplication becomes very simple. 11 into 12. How do I multiply this? I am going to write 2 here, 1 here. In between 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. I repeat, 11 into 12 is to be found out. I have written 2 here, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. If at all I have to multiply 11 into 223 or 323 for example, then 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5 and 3. This is the procedure. Now here we have 11 into 19, 9 here, 1 here, but 1 plus 9 is 10. Do I get 1109? No. What am I supposed to do? I need only 1 digit here, but I have 2 digit number here. So I am going to carry over this 1 to the previous number. So we get 209. Right? Are we correct? Let us check it quickly. 11 into 19 is 1919. 9 plus 1 is 10, 209. So we have saved our time. If we are going to be using such simple methods, we are going to save lot of time and calculations become very easy. Most of the students complain that calculations have become very tough. If you are going to adapt such simple procedures, your calculations are going to be very simple. So here it's going to be 11 into 19, which is going to be 209. Now product of extremes is equal to 5 into 37. 5 7s are 35, 185. Are these two quantities the same? Are these two numbers the same? Product of means is 209. Product of extremes is 185. They are not equal. As product of means is not equal to product of extremes, these four quantities are not in proportion. Clear. But now my question is, add some number to all the four numbers, or add some quantity to all the four numbers so that the sums are in proportion. I repeat, I would like to add some quantity. The same quantity I am going to add to each and every number. Then I am going to get the result. I need to add these quantity in such a way that the results are in proportion. So let me assume that the quantity to be added is x. Right? Algebra has taught how to make use of the variables aptly. So I am going to make use of algebra here. I would like to add the same quantity to all the four numbers in such a way that the results are going to be in proportion. So we have 5 plus x, 11 plus x, 19 plus x and 37 plus x. And these four are in proportion. Once four terms are in proportion, we have product of cross product rule, which says that product of means is equal to product of extremes. So as these are in proportion, 11 plus x into 19 plus x is equal to 5 plus x into 37 plus x. Isn't it? Because product of means is equal to product of extremes. Now I am going to apply FOIL method. You remember FOIL method? F stands for first, O for outer, I for inner, L for last. Quickly let us apply. First, 11 into 19, just now I have given you a simpler procedure. It is going to be 209. First over. Outer, 11 and x are outer, 11x. Inner, x and 19, 19x. Then last, x square, right? Similarly, here we are going to apply the same FOIL method. First is 5 into 37, which is going to be 185. Outer, 5x. Inner, 37x. Last. So we have applied the method and simplified on both the sides. Now we are going to bring all the terms to one side of the equation and we are going to solve it. 209, 11x, 19x, x square. So it's going to be 209 plus 30x plus x square is equal to 185 plus 42x plus x square. 42x plus 185 minus x square minus 30x minus 209 is equal to 0. If you observe, I have transposed all the terms which were on left hand side to the other side of the equation. Right? We get x square minus x square, which gets cancelled. 42x minus 30x is 12x. 185 minus 209. 185 minus 209, let us not be overconfident, it's going to be 24. Minus 24 is equal to 0. Nothing wrong in checking. 12x is equal to 24, x is equal to 24 by 12, which is equal to 2. So 2 should be added, 2 is a number which is to be added to all the 4 numbers, so that the results are going to be in proportion. Now we have got x. Are the results going to be in proportion or not? Let us quickly check it. If I add 2 to all the 4, what do I get? 5 plus 2 is 7, 11 plus 2 is 13, 19 plus 2 is 21, 37 plus 2 is 39. Are they in proportion? Is 7 by 13 equal to 21 by 39? 7 by 13. Are these two equivalent fractions? 3 7s are 39, 21 and 3 13s are 39. So they are, right? So this is a procedure. This was a very simple example which makes the concept very clear to each and every one. So in today's video we have learned what is a proportion, what are the terms of proportion, what is a continuous proportion, what are the terms of continuous proportion like first proportional, mean proportional, third proportional. What happens if 4 quantities are in continuous proportion. And then we have dealt with simple examples where we had to find the unknown terms of the proportion. And then finally we have dealt with one example where the given 4 quantities were not in proportion, but we have chosen or we found out a quantity which when added to each and every number, the results have become are in proportion, right? We can't make these 4 in proportion because as of now 5, 11, 19, 37 they are not in proportion anyway, but I have chosen or found out one number which when added to these the results have become in proportion, right? So this is what we have learned in this video. In the coming videos we are going to explore these proportions and learn very interesting facts and some new methods of it, right? Thank you.